Hello, my name is Ajibola Tajudeen, but you can call me Keeme. And today you're watching Conversations with Keeme, a show where we ask stuff and we make stuff. Today my guest is a Broadway actor and performer, Christine Dwyer. Hello. So Christine, what was it like growing up as a child?
I grew up in... Oh, great. Okay, yeah. Awesome. I grew up in Massachusetts, right outside of Boston, and didn't go to a performing arts school. I went just to public school, but kind of found a passion for swimming and a passion for singing, and I sort of had to figure out which one I wanted to do more, because they were taking up too much of my time and my grades were dipping, and so my mom told me I had to pick one, and I couldn't imagine my life without theater. So I started doing that instead of swimming, and I did all the school plays and some summer stock things, but generally I really learned most of what I use today in college, because through the Hart School and Kristen Huffman, our teacher, yes, our producer, and I really had a great childhood that was filled with lots of different things. It was sports, it was school, it was music, acting,
So what was something that you learned as a kid that you still use now as a motto or like a quote?
That's a really great question. I think one thing, the golden rule has always been sort of my thing that I, learned when I was younger. And I think it's super important to be kind and understanding of one another, and I think that is something that you learn when you're 5 years old, that can carry you through everything you go through in your life.
Would you say that's the best thing about being an actor?
Yeah, well, the best thing about being an actor is that you do get to meet so many different types of people, and you get so close. You've done shows, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get so close to your cast and your crew and your director and all that stuff. And so you meet a ton of people that are different than you are, and that grew up with different backgrounds, and that had different hardships that brought them to where you are, where you're all in the same place telling the same story.
So what's your next goal in life?
Well, I'm going to get married soon, so my next goal is to kind of plan that whole wedding thing and get that done. It's starting a brand new chapter. I never really thought I was going to get married, and then I met Matt, and it kind of all came together, and I think that my next goal in life is to kind of start that new chapter, being a partnership with somebody else.
So you played Elphaba on Broadway, right?
Yes, I did.
How long was that?
I played Elphaba on Broadway for almost 2 years straight. I played it on the road for a year, and then I had a few months off, and I went to the Broadway company and did it for a year.
So as Elphaba on tour, what was that like?
Elphaba on tour was difficult. Because you're traveling around a lot, and it's a really hard role anyways. Mm-hmm. And so when you're traveling to different places with different, allergies and different theaters that, some are older than others, some are dustier than others, you have to deal with a lot of vocal health, and you have to really trust your training and things like that.
So what was it like to perform at the Tonys as Elphaba?
Oh my god, that was so scary. I've never been the type of person that gets excited for big things like that. I get really, really anxious and really nervous. So when I first found out that we were going to be doing that, my first thought was, I don't want to do that. Because at first they wanted me to do Defying Gravity, and then they decided against it. And I definitely didn't want to do Defying Gravity on the Tony Awards. I would have been so terrified. Yeah. But luckily we got to do For Good, and I got to have Jenny Barber, who was my Glinda at the time, there with me. And she kind of held my hand through it all, because she wasn't as anxious as I was. and that was really awesome. But yeah, it's really scary. I mean, because you have shows that day. Mm-hmm. Like, while the Tony Awards are kind of about to happen. So you get up at like 6 in the morning, and you go to Radio City, and you do a full costume makeup run through of the whole thing that they record just in case something happens on the live recording.
Yeah.
And you do that, and then you go to your Broadway theater, and you do the show. And then you wait, and you get your makeup done, you get all this stuff done, you wait in your theater, and then maybe 30 minutes before you're supposed to perform, they bring a bus over. I had my big alphabet costume on, the hat, the green, everything. I get into this van, we bus over, we get, put directly like in the back to our dressing rooms. We have a couple of seconds to just kind of look at each other and say, oh my God, this is happening. And then you are backstage and it's happening.
So this summer we're doing a production of Hunchback of Notre Dame with the New Paradigm Theater, and the subject is outcast, Hunchback of Notre Dame. And were there any times that you felt that you were an outcast or you felt out of place, and why?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always been, I feel like a weird musical theater actor because I had so many other interests, and I also, I just felt a little bit different than everybody in college, and I felt a little bit out of place my freshman year.
So I was thinking about getting a nose ring.
Yeah.
So what was the reason for you getting a nose ring? And how long ago did you get it?
I got it in college. Honestly, I got it because I can hide it really easily, so I didn't want to get one on my nostril because I didn't want to deal with having to show it while it was healing. So this is kind of weird, but whatever, I'm going to do it. So I can just stick it up into my nose, and then it's like, I can audition for something,
And then pull it back down.
and then I can pull it back down, and it's like, now I'm punk rock, and I can be in like Jesus Christ Superstar Live.
So we're coming to the end of our interview. I would like to know, what would you say to young leaders out there who want to lead in their community?
You're never alone in this. There's always someone that can help you. There's always someone that needs your help. And no matter where you come from or how much you know, you can all sit around a table and create something together. Art is for everybody, no matter who you are, no matter what your age is. We have to remember that, yes, you could be a leader, but you are leading a group of people, so it is a community always.
Okay, let's show our work.
Okay. You can tell who's the better artist. This is so much better than mine.
Well, thank you for being a guest here on Conversations with Keeme. And you guys know that I like to say, your voice is your power, so use it. Keeme out. So we're coming to the end of our interview. I would like to know, what would you say to young leaders out there who want to lead in their community?